Hey guys, welcome back. I'm your girl R.S. Lewis, aka Insomniac Writer, and I have a doozy of an episode today. I'm going to try to squeeze this all in 30, but if not, I guess we'll be having a part 2. You guys were going to get a dating horror story, and when I say horror story, I mean horror story, but I wanted to really talk about something else while it was fresh on my brain, and it was about these victims that have been coming forward, these sex assault victims, and especially how the fact that there's a lot of women that are being charged and singled out as predators, as well as men coming forward as victims. So I really want to talk about that today, and I want to talk about the response to that. So if you're new here, make sure you heart, save, favorite, do whatever you got to do to be reminded of this podcast so you can be reminded when new episodes appear, and be sure to share, tell your friends, get some conversation go. Keep it popping. For everyone else, welcome to the Single Chronicles. Missing someone. Okay, so obviously, Christian Keys, he was one of the few people that pegged me to do this episode, but it wasn't him specifically that I wanted to discuss. And before I go on, apologies for not having a conversation with you guys last week. It was a lot going on, and I couldn't take it. I'm sorry. Sorry, my phone is vibrating. Don't know who is that. Let me put it on silent. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm sorry I couldn't get to you guys. Thank you for your patience. And those of you that checked up on me on social media, appreciate y'all. Y'all dope. That's why I keep doing this, because it's so many podcasts up here. Now, actually, a part of it, another reason why I took such a long extended break in the first place before I unleashed this new season was because all you see online is fucking podcasts, and they're all the same. And I want to actually talk about how this aligns, and this topic might be a two-piecer. I'm just letting y'all know, because I know I ain't going to squeeze all of this shit in 30 minutes. I'm going to try without blabbling and ranting. So I'm going to just get to the point. I got some stuff written down, but I didn't really take all the notes I wanted, because again, this week has just been crazy. Whoosh out. So Christian Keys, he comes out saying, that he was the victim of sexual harassment. And, I don't know if it went further than that. I don't know how far. I didn't watch the whole video. I ain't gonna lie. I've just been reading the responses to that. And some of them are abysmal. Like, this is why people don't come forward. It doesn't matter. Like, for women, they don't like to come forward because it'd be like, oh, well, what were you doing? What were you wearing? And it's all these excuses to victim shame. Men, on the other hand, have it 10 times worse, because not only are you, you're not asking him what he wore, obviously, you're just asking him questions that demeans his experience, and or why you wait so long, or that nigga gay, and this, that, and the third nonsense. It's so effing ridiculous. It's so fucked up, and it's sad. And this is why victims, men and women, do not come forward, because motherfuckers don't give them a chance. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a whole group of people out here that make it harder on actual victims, motherfuckers that lie, like the chick that wrote Lovely Bones, had this man in jail for all this time and he ain't even fucking do it. Like, it's not that she didn't get assaulted, she just pegged the first black man and she was like, I think it was him. I don't know, could have been. Let's go with that one. Like, then you got people that say that they're, victims of sexual assault or any kind of abuse, and they don't be. And these things discredit the whole entire movement. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot more actual victims out there than there are people that aren't victims, that fake it, the fake victims. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people, I can't even, I'm not going to name names, obviously, but it's not too many male friends and even exes that I've had that did not say that they weren't the victim of some type of sexual assault or some type of depravity from an adult in their life at that time. And it bewilders me. But then it makes a lot of fucking sense of how the type of people what type of people they are today, how does it affect them? Because first and foremost, we grow up, and I can't speak for everybody, and I'm not making this a race thing. I grew up in a household was like not really just keep that in the family, but I have other extended family members or other friends and their families keep, we're not going to embarrass the family. We're going to deal with it internally or whatever. Things like that further make people not want to come forward. So when this shit happens again, or if this shit happens again and later on in life, they're afraid to, because they don't know how to set that boundary between what's appropriate and what's not. And then they don't feel safe and guarded enough that if they do say something, ain't nobody gonna believe me, or why would anybody believe me, or they gonna think I'm gay, or they gonna think this, I'm gonna think that, you know what I mean? And it's really fucked up. It's sad that we do not have a safe space for victims to say, somebody hurt me, somebody did something to me, somebody X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm an assault survivor. I'm a rape survivor. I'm an abuse survivor. You know what I mean? And now when I was the victim of domestic abuse, I came forward. And it was only because when it happened, and it wasn't the first time this happened, unfortunately, but when it happened in my life, I got the cops involved. And it wasn't because I wanted to. It was because I had to. Because at the time, I had a kid to look out for. So it wasn't really my well-being that I was concerned about, or ever had been, to be sadly honest. I had to be worried about my child. That being said, you know what I mean? I hate when people get on here, especially in the internet, why you wait so long to say something. Sometimes these people don't even say nothing. They don't even be wanting to. Usually they get forced into saying something because it comes out, and usually there's someone that's saying, you know what, you need to get in front of this and you need to put it out there first and foremost before the world finds out some other way. And that's like, we got all these people out here trending. Like, who was trending? TD Jakes, Sean Puffy Combs, Vin Diesel, so many people. And I think a lot of times people feel that their money and power protects them, because it's like, you got money and power. First of all, victims don't want to say nothing when a person doesn't have any money or power. Like, you know what I mean, to do something to them. They might be a fear of a threat going down the line. Okay, they might physically harm me, so I'm not going to say nothing. Or they have the money to shut me up or whatever. Sometimes it ain't even about paying them off, you know, the money that they make. It might be the fact that they're just like, they got so much money, they could probably make me fucking disappear. So, you know what, I'm just going to go on over here and just deal with my trauma the best way I can. But in the case of Christian Keith, something tells me that he just felt that it was time to either get this off his chest and say what he had to say, because now, you know, there is a Me Too movement for the men, or it was going to come out inevitably and he wanted to get in front of it, or someone advised him to get in front of it. It could be one or the other. I don't really know. Like I said, I did not watch his full entire confession video in entirety. I watched like bits and clips and pieces. And like I said, this particular episode isn't really about him. It's about the response to him and what he said and how people react. And there are some people that I've seen that are men that are reacting to it in a way they're like, you know what, I can relate, the same happened to me. And it makes me think about the fact that, you know what I mean, there's so many men that feel that they can't say anything. And then let's talk about that teacher that was messing with the boy she wasn't a teacher, I think she was the cheer coach. She was messing around with the boy that and like I said, I don't know the age gap between them, but that's still a minor, and you are his, you know what I mean, you are an authority figure in his life. Doesn't matter if she was 21 and he was 17, which is not a big age gap at all. The fact of the matter, he was a minor. He was in the school where you were employed, and you should know better. And the fact of the matter is, this happens a lot. This wasn't the only story that happened over the last few weeks. Another teacher did the same not that long ago. And then there was another case where it happened a while back, but the case was finally, they finally sentenced her and all of that. Because usually, you know, after the verdict, there's like a time frame of what they're going to do. It's not always instantaneous. It might be weeks, days, weeks, months, year. It might be whatever, because sometimes they got to decide, okay, is this person going to be on Megan's Law type stuff? is, you know what I mean? Is this person going to actually get jail time, probation? How is this going to work? Are they going to be registered sex offenders? Whatever the case might be, there's a lot of stipulations and things that have to go into place once the charge has been filed and the verdict has been made. And regardless of such, it seems that there are a lot of women or young men coming forward about these women that are doing, these women teachers or these women of authority coming forward and saying something. So with that being said, I've seen the responses to that. Man, I wouldn't have said nothing. No, no, that's not normal. And I've gotten some confessions from some guys that have said, oh, keep me anonymous. Obviously, I always keep all my confessions anonymous unless they request me not to. I keep them anonymously anyway, automatically. Yeah, I messed with a girl that was like 20 years older than me. Like, I've had guys actually approach me and say, hey, what's up with you? Like, trying to go there. And I'm like, you are literally the age of my daughter. This is not right. No. like maybe later on down the line. Like, we can have a Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet type of thing when you're in your 30s. That'll probably work. I'll try it then. But, or maybe, I don't know. But, I don't know, it's just me. But the point is that there are a lot of guys out there. Like, this one dude wasn't even 30. And he was like, I've been messing around with girls your age for a minute now. And I'm like, well, what's a minute to you, sir? Because you ain't even 30. You just turned 30. It's like, I lost my virginity when I was like 17. I hope she was not my age when you lost your virginity at 17, sir. I really do. Because that is not normal. That was a law that was broken. That was rape. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you that, but it is. That's childhood trauma. And because we breed and raise our men to not talk about their emotions, you can be manly all you want. You can be masculine. You can be that quote unquote alpha male, which is ridiculously dumb title. But regardless, it's just, you can be whatever a man type of person. There's nothing wrong with that. But you still are allowed to have emotions. You are still allowed to express emotions that isn't just anger and rage. Like, you can be sad, you can be, you know what I mean? You can feel invalidated and want to vocalize how you feel about that. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's sad that men have been allowed to not do that. And I think now we're starting to see it with this red pill movement and with all this high value men talk. Is like, now we went from a point in society where, men were the home breadwinners or whatever, and they were in charge of the household, and women couldn't have bank accounts, and we were basically second-class citizens. And then when feminism started to grow and shift, and now we're at the point where a woman can potentially make as much as a man, or be as powerful as a man, or whatever the case might be. And now you have men vocalizing their disdain for that. More and more women are saying, I don't want to get married. And this is not to include those who are not straight oriented. This is directed at just hetero and, okay, maybe bi and pansexual people. But for the regular nuclear family type of setup, it seems like it's not like that's far and few between. It's still out there, but a lot of people are just on this type of time where it's like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. A lot of women want to focus on their career. A lot of women, you know what I mean? There are things that, women want to do that have made some men feel like, well, what am I supposed to do? Or they might be in a situation. There's some guys, I just read online not too long ago, the dude wanted to divorce. He divorced his chick because she make more than him. She's the breadwinner. But what makes me upset, and I'll get back to the sexual assault stuff and the trauma stuff, but what makes me upset and how I'm going to tie this in is that you have a lot of people who want, and I've said this 1,000 times, they want this traditional nuclear family type of household. Man, head of household, he's the provider, he's this, he's that. The woman is the helpmeet, she's in the house, she's the homemaker. And again, nothing wrong with that. We're playing the roles. Like, if we in the house, if I'm working 40 to 100 hours a week, I'm not going to have a very clean home. And that's just being honest. If I'm working and doing all these things, but if you home and you there all day, you work less than me, if at all, clean house. And I would expect it to be the opposite way if that were the case. Now, if we are in a situation where we're both working, because two income households are more likely in this economy, then we have to figure out a chore chart. I had this in my house. We have a chore chart. So I knew that my daughter, she had school and extracurricular activities. I had a full-time job and side hustles. So we had a chore chart. And, these were the chores that we were going to do throughout the week to keep the house tidy. Because what happens is once you start just letting shit just pile up and get nasty, and you get to the point, I don't even feel like cleaning it. So we got to the point where, all right, we're going to have to organize this around our schedules. Your schedule and my schedule ain't always going to vibe. So we're going to figure out a way to make sure we keep the house tidy best as we can. Because, I ain't playing that shit. So, and this was like before my mother moved in with me. And we had, because after that happened, it was like, ooh, never mind. But that being said, we had this organization. And that's the same way any group of people that live together have to be. It doesn't matter if it's a relationship, a parent and children or child, or just roommates. We have to set some type of ground rules so that the house duties are not negated. And people really forget how important that shit is until you get roaches and mice and shit. Like, where these come from? Well, motherfuckers don't want to clean. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get insects. If you got animals, you don't take care of the animals, you're going to get fleas and ticks and shit. All it takes is you bring in one motherfucker that got one or had an egg or something, or they come in from outside. Like, every house isn't, sealed all the way from the foundation to the roof. You know what I mean? Critters get in. So that being said, if you don't get on top of certain things, then what's going to happen is going to be hard to get rid of them. So anyway, you got these people that want this traditional household or this traditional lifestyle, but they don't want to do their part of the bargain. You can't sit up there and say you want a submissive wife, girlfriend, that was going to stay home with the kids and do the Susie homemaker thing, which is totally fine if you want to cook and clean, and because that's a full-time job in itself, to be honest. Let's just keep it mean, right? Unless you got a maid service, it is a full-time job. That being said, which I recommend, by the way, maid services are the shit. You will, trust me, you will thank me later. That being said, you can't want one, but you're not doing the other. I'm sorry, as a woman, now you can have a hybrid of that. You're a little traditional, I'm a little traditional, but we both a little modern, that's fine. But you can't sit up there and be like, I can't say, oh, I want a man to be provider, protector, he got to bring home all the money, he got to make a certain amount to do this, that, because obviously if I'm not going to be working, he's going to have to make a certain amount to support two people, heaven forbid if we have any children together, which in my case won't be much longer. So with that being said, if I want a traditional household, I'm going to have to be a traditional wife. I can't sit up there and say I want this man to provide and do all this other stuff, and then he come home, the fuck, you ain't cooked shit, what you been doing all fucking day? You know what I mean? Like, no, that ain't going to work. So the problem is that there's this cognitive dissonance. Like, we want this, but we don't do the thing. They don't align with the shit we doing. Like, you're talking all this talk, but you're not walking it. And how this plays into the whole Christian Keys and the assault survivors, I'll get to in a second, hopefully. The problem is that with all these things that are happening, with people saying what they want to do and who they are and all this other stuff, I'm this, I'm that, and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't align with what you're doing, bro. You can't sit up there and say, I'm a fitness professional, and you're not being a fit person, okay? I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Not saying that you don't know how. Like, you can study all the books. You can know everything about a human anatomy and biology. And, of course, tell me some things or teach me some things. But at the end of the day, because, yeah, you got to obviously take tests. Like, I had to take a very grueling test to get certified to be an instructor. So there were some things that I had to know about basic human biology in order to know how the fucking human body works, in order to train said body. So, yeah, you can know some things. But at the end of the day, unless you're walking the walk, people are not really going to hear what you got to say. Now, I'm not the smallest person in the room, obviously. Or I'm not the smallest trainer out there, but I'm not nowhere. The people will look and see the results of how I used to look versus how I look now and how I feel and how things are, and they'll be like, okay, well, maybe she do know what she's talking about, because she don't look like that no more. So it's like, all right, get on this journey with me. I'm on this journey. Not only am I doing the work and getting better myself, but I'm also learning. And you can get on this journey with me. And of course, along the way, there are going to be some things and some ideals that change. Biology, things change all the time about the science of, I'm not saying like humans change or whatever, but a lot of things change, like psychology and all those other things, like things we knew about the fitness industry 20 or 30 years ago. Now we did not know 20 or 30 years ago. Now, that being said, again, if I'm not living an active, fit, healthy lifestyle, you ain't gonna hire me to be training you. Like, yeah, I can count your reps for you, but what the fuck else I'm gonna do? Like, that's not motivating to you. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be this muscle-bound, fit person. Like, people want someone that's ideal. I tell people, look, I work and I hustle. I got a kid. I'm a single mom. There are a lot of things that I do in my life, so you can find the time. Here's how I help you find time to do X, Y, and Z, because humans are meant to move. And yada, yada, yada. So I always tell them, okay, if you want a relatable trainer, or a nutritionist, or someone to help guide you on this health journey, I'm going to help you through that, because not only do I know what the fuck I'm talking about, this is a lived experience that I have with you. I know what it's like to juggle a whole bunch of things and barely have the time to find in my schedule to work out or to make a decent, healthy, whole food meal. So that being said, I am going to help you on this journey. Okay. And again, like I said, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And you can see the results that I've yielded as a result. I may not be a size 10, but I ain't a size fucking 24 anymore. So that being said, yeah, it is what it is. Now back to this. Woo-sigh. It is really, 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 really a mess that a lot of men out here that I've known personally for years, when they go and they tell me these things about their trauma and their childhood, and people be telling me, this is long before I started doing the Single Chronicles. I don't know why people be wanting to share this shit with me, but I guess I have that listening ear. I understand and I can, empathize or whatever, and I've been there. But regardless of such, you look at it, and then you look at their how they are now in life. You know what I mean? Why they make the choices that they make, why they say the things that they say, why they do the things that they do. Most people, and this is not a jab at anybody that is in this lifestyle, be it sexually promiscuous or love knows no bounds or just sexually free, uninhibited, and you know what I mean, whatever. And I don't knock that. If that's what makes you happy, fine, so be it. Just be safe. Don't be passing shit around here. That part I don't give a fuck. Because people be out here doing all types of people and they don't be safe. Like, bro, what is you doing? Baby girl, what is you doing? Nobody wants whatever you got crawling and oozing down below. I'm sorry. So if you're going to be out here in these streets, don't be passing shit to people, okay? We got enough. We already passing energy demons and energy vampires and whatever else. And we don't need your physical juju that we got to go get pills and antibiotics for, or prayer or Dr. Sebi, because some of the shit ain't cured with no antibiotics. The point is that if you're about that poly life, or you are about that, swinger lifestyle, or whatever you want to call it, that's fine. Do you. But it begs to ask the question, what psychological trauma, childhood trauma, or traumas have you experienced in your life where you find it hard to be monogamous? And I'm not saying that monogamy is good, the end all be all, because some people don't want to be with nobody. The point is that what was it in your life that occurred that at some point you found it necessary to put up this it's not even a boundary, this blockade, this border around your heart that you don't want to connect with anyone emotionally, because it takes, anybody could fuck. Anybody, two girls, two guys, a girl and a guy, anybody can do it. It's not, doesn't really take any. And men always have this assumption that women have to be emotionally attached to the person they have sex with. No, we don't. No, we don't. It's just that a lot of times we tend to have sex with more so with the person we're emotionally tied with, or we don't talk about the ones we ain't emotionally tied with. So when women who do talk about it, we're pegged as whores. So it's not that women can't have emotionally detached sex. It's just that when we do it, we get judged for it. So with that being said, it makes me wonder, what traumas are these people evading or having experienced at some point in their life that have led them to feel that it's okay to just dick around or hoe around, whatever you want to call it, and not be attached or be afraid to do that emotional connection. Because like I was about to say, anybody can do those things. It's easy. It's really, really easy to just do the horizontal mumbo jumbo coitus. It's easy to do that. It's really easy. It really is. Let's just keep it a bean. Whether you go and pay for it or not, the problem is it's hard to get an emotional connection to another person. It varies. Now, girlfriends, girlfriends can hang out, or the fellas, go down to the barbershop or the basketball court. It's easy to have a camaraderie with these, and have emotional connections with people you're not going to have sex with. But what about the ones that you do? I know plenty of people that don't. And when you ask questions that force them to open up even just a little bit, they kind of evade it and be like, oh, they take it back to the sex. And it's not to say that they don't like, they don't like you as a person, or they feel something wrong with you. It's just that they don't want that emotional connection, because they are afraid that once that emotional connection happens, then you have this power and control over them. Instead of doing the first thing I always say is make sure the person you do want to have a connection with is compatible with you. See, we take away the chemistry of it. Like, we jump into the chemistry. Oh, I want to see what you look like, and blah, 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 blah. And I want to feel you, and I want to see, like, we jump off in the DM on a conversation. It all jumps to sex real quick. There's no emotional connection whatsoever. And there's no talk about emotional connection. That's why usually when I get those types of people in my DM, I may or may not play the game. But 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I've been down this road before, and it always ends the same. It ends up, we just send a bunch of pictures to one another. We sexting, as they call it. We probably hooked up at some point, or we plan to hook up, regardless if they live close to me or not. It starts off hot and heavy, and then it fizzles out, because we haven't taken the time to figure out if we're compatible with one another, or we haven't, we don't want to, you know what I mean? Or we just get burnt out, like you get bored. And I think because of me, I teach twerk classes. I write stories sometimes that have erotic fiction. I scroll on fucking social media. I watch horror movies. There's a lot of sexual content out there. After a while, it's just like, okay. So with that being said, it's like we're always exposed to sexual stimuli. And like we're always trying, like this world is just sexually stimulating all the fucking time. And then don't let some me be ovulating, because then it's like, whoa. But the point is that it's always, and there's nothing wrong with being attracted to someone. I'm not saying that you can't, but you got to turn it off. But what I'm saying is that we're sexually driven all the time for no fucking reason. There's nothing wrong with being freaky and wanting to have sex and being, sexually open or whatever, or free. But it's a question you have to ask. Well, why? Why is it that's all you want, like all the time? We talk about people having food disorders. We talk about people having eating disorders, or people having any other, they might be addicted to drugs. They might be addicted to smoking. They might be addicted to alcohol. What are you running from? When people have an addiction to something, they always say, well, you must be running for something. But when you tell people you don't even admit that you're addicted to sex, but you are low-key addicted to sex, Next thing you know, it's like, well, it's natural. Yeah, sex is natural. That's how we procreate. But it's there. You're not doing it for that. You're doing it for the sheer fact of having sex, and you're not even doing it for the pleasure of your partner. You're doing it for you because you want to get off. And now we got all these people just sexually charged all the time, and it's like, oh my God, like really? Can we talk about something else? After a while, I get tired, and I just like we got so many things that's constantly all the time. Sometimes I gotta keep scrolling. I gotta. Because you know the stupid ass algorithm. Once you see or like or interact with at least 2 posts from somebody, that's all you're going to see on the social media. Like, yo, I follow like 4,000 other people on Instagram. Can you show me somebody the fuck else, please? I don't want to hear about this. But going back to this, and then we talk about, you know, the cognitive dissonance. That's where I was going on it with that. We talk about the fact that you got these people that will take, you know what I mean? Like we have, I think women have higher levels of it, but we repeat the psychological abuse that we experience at a young age later on in our adult lives, regardless of how we have an opinion of it. Yeah, we may not, and I'm guilty of this. I'm not even gonna sit up here and lie and fraud you. I may sit up here and say what I do and do not like as a person that's single or would potentially be ready to date and this, that, and the third. But my actions ain't lining up with how I feel or want to feel. And then I end up on that same merry-go-round of not healing. Yeah, you go through the shadow work and you start doing what you got to do to, you know what I mean, get away from what it is that you were experiencing, that trauma. But then you turn around somehow, some way, you end up back on it. And then you got to ask yourself, well, how did I get back here? Like, I was doing so good. How did I gain all this weight? And I had lost it. I was doing so good. Sometimes we will get exposed to someone that will break down all the work that we did. And sometimes that person is us. You know what I mean? We will basically be so alert to the quote unquote signs of what the trauma is that we were supposedly healing from, or who's a narcissist, or who's this, or who's that. But we'll still gravitate right towards it. And we create a trauma bond as a result. And we constantly, even though we're in that recovery process, even though, and this isn't like drugs, this isn't like weaning yourself off of heroin or shit, certain foods. This is a person who we've emotionally and mentally connected ourselves to. And now, not only, and even if we do get away from the trauma of the abusive person, we gravitate to somebody that's just like it, or we relay that behavior onto others. It's like the saying goes, hurt people hurt people. So going back to this, with these people responding to Christian Keys and Cassie and Puffy and all these other people, whoever, either the assault survivors or the assaulters or whatever, it makes me wonder what happened in your life. And then 9 times out of 10, they're fucking trolls. But what happened in your life that will cause you to be so irritated and triggered by the fact that someone said something or they came forth? Why are you mad that Christian Keys didn't say who it was? He said that this is a billionaire. And it ain't like he ain't got a job and he ain't got money and he hasn't managed the money that he's made, so that even if he never works again, he can't make any. The point is, it could ruin his career then, or you can't just go blurting out X, Y, and Z did this, that, and the third. It has repercussions. And I'm sure he has someone, a publicist or a lawyer, who is coaching him through this. Of course, people are going to try to guess and speculate. But the point is that he got somebody that's obviously telling him, shh, don't say that. You always got somebody, you know what I mean, someone that's going to spin the story for you or help you guide you through the whole situation. Spin doctors, ain't that what they call them? You know what I mean? That's what they do. So that being said, he's not doing it he might, like I said, he might got to get in front of it, might got to get off his chest. I don't know. But in this particular case, with these people, it makes me think and wonder why is the breaking of this trauma, or at least the identification of this trauma, triggering to you? Like, you know what I mean? Why? And what is it, your perception? You know what I mean? Like, what's your perception of what he went through versus what you went through? And why is it that you feel because he says something, you got to feel some type of way that he didn't say who it was? You know what I mean? Why is that? That's all I want to know. Because a lot of people will get out here in these streets and will sit up there and say what type of woman they want and what type of man they want. Meanwhile, you haven't healed. I know I'm still healing. And of course, there's going to be some things that over the course of time is going to take up probably my entire fucking life. And I'm not going to wait forever for everything to be healed. So at some point, you know, I'm just be like, F it. This is part of the package, okay? I got all these great qualities, but I also got these shitty ones too. And I'm going to just keep it a beam. But that being said, when I realized I kept gravitating towards certain traits or certain people, that was when I realized I wasn't ready. It had shit to do with the fact that I had an itch I wanted scratched or you know what I mean? It was how I was gravitating these people. It was like, wow, this person really likes me. No, they fucking don't. They saw you post a twerk video and they figured, all right, you know what? Maybe she'll send me some more than that. You know what I mean? So, and I get those all the time. I don't respond to most of them. 99% of them I don't respond to. Some of them I might, because I'm like, yo, there's one person I know. Oh, God. He probably listening right now. I have no intent on sending him shit, fucking him, or any of that stuff. But bro, post the perfect memes and videos, and that's 90%. That's like half the content I put, you know, my filler content, you know, funny memes and videos and stuff like that. I can't lose that. I mean, he blocked me, then what I'm going to do? I gotta go find the content. Like, don't get me wrong, it ain't like it's content he all made. But now I gotta go out of my way. You know how busy I be? I used to have someone that used to help me find content at one point when I was getting paid like a lot more, like before I got demonetized. Man, listen, I ain't got time to be finding content no more like that. It was like, yo, like, why go get the cow? Or why buy the milk and you got the cow giving you, whatever the fuck his saying was, man. I'm not trying to go buy the milk. You know, I got the cow right here just giving it to me. He's just providing, this is gold, comedy gold, some of it. And I'm like, yeah, I try not to steal all this stuff, because then you get wind of it and then you be like, yo, damn, you just gonna steal stuff off my page. Damn, it's like that. And I can't get a picture. So, you know, I got a couple people that fit in this category, by the way. Some of them is in like similar categories of what I do for a living. And, you know, I'm like, yeah, that's good stuff. That's good quality stuff. I'm going to tell my clients that. I can't, I wanted to get blocked. I get blocked. Like, damn it. I lost my source. Because sometimes I'll be remembering stuff and then I'm like, damn, you know what? Why didn't I tell my students that? It's not that I can't do what I do and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Sometimes I'll be forgetting. I'm like, yo, damn. Because I be doing so much other stuff. Sometimes this is a shortcut. It's like Cliff Notes. Trying to lose my Cliff Notes. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about. We're going to come back to this topic again in detail, because we just scratched the surface. Like, you know how they say you got so many layers of skin? We barely scraped the surface. We ain't even get to where the veins and stuff is at. So I'm going to leave it right here. And, I got a short, brief thing to say for the writer's reflection, so stick around. I won't be long, I promise. Because we already went over the 30-minute mark, so yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, to today's episode. Today, I'm kind of having a title in this, but we talked about, I guess, hijacking perception and cognitive dissonance, and a lot of terms that you hear in therapy and in the field, and why so many people do not live the lie that they sold themselves. We'll shame and have so much to say about a person and their actions and what they do, regardless if it's something bad or if it's something good or if it's a defense or whatever. But we are yet to look inward and do the work. It's easier to project. It's basically projecting, and it's more of a coping mechanism, because what we're doing, we're forcing, instead of facing something that we're not comfortable talking about, or something we're basically being triggered, and it contradicts what we believe and how we might feel. The next thing to do is to attack someone for that. And there's a lot of people that are manipulative, that say a lot of manipulative shit out here to get their point across, but they just don't walk the walk. They talk it and they project it. And it's really, really sad, because there's like levels to cognitive dissonance, and this is me like trying to remember back to my psychology courses, but you know what I mean, when we're faced with this disconfirmation, or this we're faced with something that basically challenges our belief system, you have one or two things that you can do. You can comply to it and say, all right, well, let me at least try to hear this out, figure it out. Or we do the opposite, which is we fight it, we project, or whatever the case might be. That's that choice. Now, like I said, we're confronted with something that challenges our belief, and then we have that choice. Do we want to, justify the things that we've been doing all along that confirm our beliefs, even if our beliefs have been challenged? Or do we comply to some extent with what it is we've been challenged with? I've noticed this a lot with people who are far religious, will come to some kind of, I remember when someone challenged my faith, and my faith isn't my faith because of the things that I do, the holidays that I uphold, or the beliefs or the prayers that I say. It's my connection with a higher power. And when I realized that's what got me closer to God. That was what helped me out personally. And it wasn't the word that was in the book or in the Torah or in the scrolls or whatever. It was my connection with God. It was him trying to get to me, if that was the case. Or it could just be energy, the universe, whatever you want to call it. And some people get hung up on the scripture or whatever. They get hung up in the devil's in the details, as they say. So they get hung up on that little stuff, but they don't rarely ever get caught up. They don't get connected to the message behind all of that. Oh, you're not supposed to do X, Y, and Z. Well, your same book says you're not supposed to do X, Y, and Z, yet you're doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, So, that being said, you can justify your thing, or you can say, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I need to dig deeper. Or maybe I need to figure out why I don't want to dig deeper, or whatever the case might be. So the point is that there's like 4 conditions of it, but that's basically my take on it. And you know what I mean? It's really, it's sad that people would rather, you know what I mean, attack someone else's trauma healing experience than to actually deal with their own. But that's the world we live in. And unfortunately, you got them, and then you got trolls that just want to wreak havoc just because it's social media and they have nothing else better to do. Or they want to disagree with something they don't understand. And that's fine too. You know what? It's a free country. What I learned is that every action don't need a reaction, and everything that someone says doesn't need a response. I don't have to respond to everything that someone says because they don't understand what I said. And they don't have to respond to me. If I see a post, somebody posted something, it was in regards to the conflict going on in the Middle East, and I wanted to say something, but I said, you know what? It's not going to change how they feel, number one. Number two, it's just going to be a back and forth with us not reading what we're saying to one another and us picking the things that we read around to be angry about. Not even worth it. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, we will sometime come back to this again in the future. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Single Chronicles. I hope to talk to you next week. Now that all my editing software has been corrected, I hope to get more content out to you. I will say that the Single Chronicles will be taking another hiatus. Very short. We'll come back in 2024, continuing the season. But that being said, we're going to take a mini break. We took a break before, between Christmas and New Year's, but don't worry, we'll be back. And that is that. So take care, guys. I love you. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Happy whatever you celebrate. And I'll talk to you then. Be awesome. Be you. But above all else, love yourself. I am sad and so